time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Good morning. All right, guys. So we're back for another Wake Up and Adam, and I have so much energy this morning. Actually, I'm not going to lie. Jason's filter face, whatever that dermatology stuff was, he put it on, and I guess the people who, this is how I'm starting this off. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. 115 in the room in the first minute. Hey. So Jason was putting on that stuff that looked like a filter, and it looked like it had bronzer or something in it, and his face was like glowing, and he was talking about it so much that they're sending him some more products. So I was like, okay, finally I'll try it. Why do I feel like it does not have the same effect? Okay, that's fine. Morning all. Let's see who's in here. Stephen Poor, good morning. Julie, bravo. Okay. Kay Tibbetts, Tia, Jen, Murray, Kaya D, Sergio, good morning. Good morning, Rosemary, Elaine Hargate, LaShawn, good morning. Lee, good morning. Krista Marie Miller, Philly Diva, Coffee Buzz, Sarah, Georgia Carolina. Hi, good morning, everyone. All right. So there's a lot to talk about today, but these are interesting topics because it's really about, and that's why I named this thumbnail, is it rumor or facts? Because at this point, we always get going into a new season or before shows start filming, we get a lot of rumors. Now, are the rumors true? Ask Lizzo and she'll say yes. But as for this moment right now, we actually don't know. I have a rumor that came up, and I want to talk about just the fact that, well, it's a big deal, and we always hear rumors every year about this franchise. This is how I'm going to kick it off. Before I do, let me just say, Sarah, I got your beautiful gift, and thank you, thank you. She sent us this beautiful gift that says A loves J with 12222, which is a wine cooler. Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate you. And guys, I always say this too. You don't have to send anything, and it's when we get notifications and stuff from the PO box, it's super sweet. So thank you guys. I love you guys anyways, no matter what. And this is absolutely beautiful. And I can't wait to put some wine in it after we get back to drinking, because right now it's time to snatch it back up. All right. So we have to get back into this whole idea of what's going on with one of our favorite franchises. Now, this is a franchise that we slept on for a long time, and we didn't know, is this, franchise even going to be good? Is it not? And honestly, it surprised me because I really I enjoyed this franchise. But hold on, let me bring it up. Where are you? Here we go. Okay. So we're hearing Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 is soon to begin filming, and who should be let go. Now, my question is, because there was a rumor that came out from All About the Real Housewives that Candace Diller Bassett would be let go from the Real Housewives of Potomac. And I can bring up their reasoning really quick, just to give you guys a tidbit. They were saying, and I don't know if I believe this or not, but when they're talking about it, they're using the reasoning of, here we go. This problematic East Coast housewife who has been on the show for a few seasons now is rumored not to be getting her contract renewed for the new season. With filming slated to begin within the next month or so, producers have finally recognized that the trouble she has caused or gotten herself into has not been a good look for the overall franchise. Along with the added pressure from many opinionated fans calling for her termination, the clear as day fact that she will never own up or share her mistakes, and the high probability that she will continue to cause and get into more unnecessary trouble. It is said that producers in the network are already looking for her replacement and are already toying with some ideas, including testing the waters of some new women recommended by the current already returning cast and the promotion of a friend of from the last season, which obviously would be Escala Davies. So in the live chat, I want you guys to answer whether or not you think this is true. Again, this is obviously, it's coming from All About the Real Housewives. It has not been shared by Bravo directly. And with that, we kind of have to go based off of what we got. We don't have any confirmation. Now, I did a video on this yesterday, and it's so funny to me because people think that I absolutely cannot stand Candace, and that's not the truth. I haven't had the best encounters with her or her husband on Twitter. That happens. When I did my Fallon interview, and nothing against Chris, but Chris went on and tweeted Fallon, I'm excited to, so happy for you to hear your story, but I wish you would have done it with somebody except for Adam because he's a fraud, and went on this whole thing. And I was like, I don't know where this is coming from. So it turned into this whole thing. And eventually I was like, you just have to learn. And I've learned this as a part of this whole YouTube journey, that you cannot engage in these things, whether it's Twitter, social media, YouTube, when people try to run wild with these like accusations. And it's so hard to do because the way I grew up, and my dad has always taught me this, I was never like a fighter physically, like fight with my fists. I was always like a just kind of go back and forth with my words. And it's really hard sometimes not to defend yourself against things, especially when people are tagging your name in it, tagging a channel and something that you've worked so hard for. I mean, at this point, guys, we have almost over 1,600 videos on our channel. We've been at this for over a year and a half. We've all worked our asses off, whether it's participating in the live chats, the calls, the panels, bringing up new topics, getting interviews. It's a lot. So when people go in on you, it's really hard to kind of step out of it and be like, I'm not going to engage. I'm going to Meredith Marks the shit out of this, and I am not going to engage. In fact, I'm going to disengage. But with that, before we end up moving on to other topics, this is a big one for me because I always personally thought if there was going to be a housewife let go from the Real Housewives of Potomac, why would it not be Robin Dixon? Again, no personal vendetta or anything against Robin Dixon, but she kind of gives me a vibe of she's a great mother, she's a great friend, she's a good wife, great wife. I'll say great wife, well, great fiance, but technically what Juan Dixon did, that was not her fault. So I'm going to say she was a great wife, and she seems like she checks all the boxes except for being a great reality TV star, and that's okay. Teddy Mellencamp wasn't a great reality TV star. She's still trying. She tried to get on Celebrity Big Brother and she was the first one kicked off, but she's not the only one. I think it takes a very over-the-top eccentric personality to be on reality TV. That's why I'm really happy that I was never casted for Vanderpump Rules. I think I would have been incredibly boring. And, it's almost like a compliment. So I always thought if we were going to lose a housewife, it would be Robin Dixon, not Candace Bassett. And I'll say this about Candace. Candace, she's not going to let you go in on her without ripping you a new one verbally. She is a wordsmith. She keeps the storylines going. She always gives us the drama, whether it's from her and her husband and her mom. They always give us something to watch and a reason to watch the next episode, which is something I really appreciate about Candace. And she's not really doing anything different than any of the other women on any shows to get her fired. I mean, she definitely, and she has admitted to this, that she has had moments where she's been maybe over the top messy on social media. Yes, trust me, I know. But that doesn't necessarily get you fired from a franchise. So bringing up callers now, I see Sarah, Georgia Carolina, Team Catania, Krista, you're messy as hell. Trish Phillips, Philly Diva, Natalia, I see everyone. I'm going to start bringing up people to chime in on this topic before we actually move on to the other topics. Before I do, I just want to also add to this. Guys, if you're walking down the street and you see somebody and you're trying to flirt, this is for all of my straight men out there. And you're trying to flirt, because I know that I've seen the analytics and the demographics on my channel. It ranges from like 16 to 70. And I have most of my demographic is like between 25 and like 50, which, listen, I love everybody on here, but I do see that there are some younger people watching sometimes. And I just got to get this out there. If you're a guy and you try to hit on a woman and she does not acknowledge you, in the words of Sutton Strack, let the mouse go. Let him walk by. Don't be an asshole. And don't think that because she ignores you or doesn't take you flirting with her or, sitting there and catcalling her, that you can sit there and talk crap and then try to be cool in front of your friends, because shit does happen. Karma is a bee. My dad told me that my whole life, and she will come knocking on your door. In fact, for me, it's always instantaneously. Okay, let me just bring this up before we start bringing up callers. Hold on. Here we go.
What's y'all's name? Shit, what's y'all's name? Shit, fuck y'all bitches.
I love that. I love that for them. I hope one more time.
Shit, what's y'all's name? Shit, fuck y'all bitches.
Yeah. I love a good moment of karma, and that was one of them. Okay, let's bring up callers to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Again, guys, I pinned the link at the top of the live chat if you guys would like to call in and join the conversation. Also, don't forget, it's a subscribers-only live chat. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. That way you can engage and call in. And don't forget to smash that like button. I'm going to try to bring up a couple callers at a time. That way we can get everybody in. But please, please, let's let everybody talk and not talk over them. That way the live chat enjoys it. Everyone in the video watching, they can enjoy it without not really, you can't really understand each other if we talk over each other. So I'm going to bring up callers. Here we go. Rotation. Hi, Sarah. Oh, you're muted.
Had to put my coffee down so I could unmute. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Hi, Trish. Hi, Philly Diva.
Hello.
Good morning. Philly
Hey,
Diva.
Adam. Hello, beautiful lady.
Hi, good morning, Sarah. Thank you so much for our gift. That was so sweet of you.
You're welcome. And I'm echoing.
I think there's an echo.
I'll leave and come back.
Okay. Philly Diva, is your mic?
Can you not hear me? Oh no. Oh, hey.
Okay. Trish, can you
I'm
hear me?
here. I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to bring you up with some more callers. Hi, Georgia.
Hey.
Okay. All right. So good morning. I would love to kick us off with this Real Housewives of Potomac rumor. Georgia, Carolina, I know we watch Potomac. Trish, are you a Potomac fan?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Good. So now this is a rumor. We get rumors every single season about potential housewives that could be coming or going. And then I feel like a lot of times, honestly, 50% of the time, it's not true. For this one specifically, I'm going to start with you, Trish, since I had you up first. Do you think that it's a possibility that Candace may not be coming back for season 7?
I do. And you were wondering why Candace versus Robin Dixon, who is kind of like a Teddy Mellencamp. She's nice, but she's not divisive. You could take her or leave her. Did you notice in the article they mentioned that the person had caused enough trouble that the viewers had kind of risen up? And I don't think someone like a Teddy Mellencamp or a Robin Dixon could get the viewers riled up enough to want to see her go. Whereas
Right.
Candace is nasty. Candace is someone, she was divisive before the Monique Samuels situation. But when she got into Monique Samuels' face and said, what are you going to do? Are you going to drag me? 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 And then finally, and then finally Monique dragged her. And then, right? Monique got in trouble. So I think the fact that Candace can't ever, as you said, admit to wrongdoing, she comes across as fake. And I think people would rather have boring than fake, or at least people are not going to rise up against someone who's boring, but they might rise up and fight to get rid of someone that they think is fake or causes trouble or is cringy. I mean, she's kind of cringy to watch.
To kind of chime in on what you're saying too before Jordan does, the only reason that I think there could be potentially some truth to this is because if you watched last reunion, I was shocked to hear Giselle, who really advocated for Candace when the whole Monique Candace thing went down. And she was like, she and all of the women turned their back on Monique. Now, Monique was not fired from the show. She was offered to come back, but she chose not to because her baby was brought into the narrative, which she said, I did not sign up for it because it wasn't good for her and her family, which it makes sense. But this last season, Giselle actually said, Candace, when that whole situation happened with you and Mia, had Mia have actually got a hold of you, I would have been like, well, what do we say about this? And then all of the women kind of teamed up on Candace, and their kind of side of this was, you go too far with your words, you cut to the bone. And Candace also had a good point. She was like, just because I do it better than you guys and I clap back and it's harsher, doesn't mean that I'm doing anything different. I'm just better at it. So with that,
No, I don't agree. She's cruel, she's unkind, and I think that people just do not enjoy. At some point, like I said, it gets cringy. I don't enjoy watching that.
okay. And Jordan, what are your thoughts about this?
My thoughts are, could it be Candace? Yes. Do I honestly think it is? No, because I don't think that the network is going to fire her for making good TV, even if it is polarizing TV. However, on the opposite side of that, she is a woman of color, so I think she's easier to get rid of than somebody else who's polarizing, like a Kelly Dodd, like a Ramona Singer. So,
I think Ramona's
um,
up too.
I mean,
Yep.
we've been waiting for 10 years.
And Andy
So it's
Cohen, by
not
the way,
like it
just
ain't
did a
overdue.
yeah, he just did a Q&A with Dave Quinn too, and he was laughing, like making fun of Kelly Dodd for the fact that she does those podcasts talking about the show. He's like, listen, if she wants to talk about the show, you're kicked off the show. It just gets more press for the show. So do your thing. That's okay. We don't care. At least you're still a fan. Like he's
Basically.
so
But when it comes to Candace, I feel like if they were gonna fire her, they would have fired her when she wished death on somebody on social media.
yeah.
Like I feel like she's done more to be fired for, and it's always stuff on social media and really off of the show, with the exception of the butter knife. Um, Most of the things that she's done that are warranting her to be fired have happened off camera, which doesn't really make a difference because hi Jenny Wynn, we still see you. But it just I f- I figured she would have been fired by now if they were
Right.
gonna fire her. Now, like I said, she is a black woman, so she's easier to get rid of. So they could just up and fire her for no reason. Who
But
knows?
we don't have,
Like,
but to be fair, when it comes to Potomac, we have all of our women, all of our housewives are women of color on Potomac.
right.
We don't have, like, somebody would eventually have to
Right.
go and be phased out. So that's inevitable anyways.
But it has nothing to do with the actual cast. I'm just talking about in the overall Housewives cinematic universe.
Okay,
She's a
got it.
black
Got it.
woman within all Housewives. So if it was so if you put her up against, say, Kelly Dodd, they would probably keep Kelly and fire Candace
I
because it would
don't
be easier for the audience to digest. But um,
Mm.
like just like with them being on the same franchise. But the problem is Kelly talked herself out of a job. Like she literally gave Bravo like the option. Like she was basically like, fire me or I'll make y'all fire me. What y'all gonna do? And they called her bluff. Candace, I go back and forth with her, and mind you, she blocked me. So this is in no way me
Oh,
standing
okay.
for her.
Welcome to the club.
So this is in no way me standing for her, but I do feel like she is held to a different standard at times because it just I don't know, like within the cast, I feel like everybody on that show has said and done equal or worse than her, and is just called, oh, she's just shady, oh, that's just her personality. But Candace in the majority of times is actually just responding to people. And listen, I come from the age of Funky Dineva. You can't push somebody and then tell them how mad to get. So you because you didn't speak to her and she cussed you out, that doesn't make her more wrong than you.
Right. Right. And
Like,
that's what, that's the one part of Candace's argument that I agreed with is the simple fact that, like, everybody claps back and then you're trying to, and I agree with her on this. And you made a great point. You can't tell her how much to clap back or how upset to be when you guys are talking about her and her relationship. I totally agree with that. And you also, the
especially
point
when
that you
she's
made that was
defending
great was
herself.
on TV, they all have the ability to be messy and, have drama, but it's really not being on TV that would be the issue that I would think that Candace would ever end up potentially losing her job. I think, like you said, it would be social media and trying to get control over that, it's a lot.
Well,
So
at
I
the
don't think
same
I answered your
time,
question, but that was
well,
my
I
opinion.
would hope, I would hope that these people, like Candace, you might say something in the moment because you're angry, but I would hope that she would learn that it's not a form of weakness to go back and apologize. Like if I say something, Jordan, to you, and I push you all the way to the point that you're going to snap and call me out, well, I hope I've learned something from that. And I just don't ever see growth from Candace. I guess that's what I'm saying.
That is fair.
You know, we all make mistakes, we all lose it, we snap, and we're entitled to snap oftentimes. But I hope that, you know, I enjoy watching the growth. And
Her
with
problem
people
is she
like
just sees this as a
Ramona,
part of the
and there's
game.
well, and it is a game, and it's like her own little world. Same thing with her mom. When her mom said, "Oh, I didn't hit her in the head with my bag. She bumped her. She walked her head into my bag." It's like they come up with a different way of looking at things and want us to believe. I don't. I just
Does
think it's
seeing that she got
phony.
it honest make y'all feel any better for her? Like does seeing that she truly got it honest make you kind of be like, oh,
I
like
mean, listen,
you are grown as hell though. Like you have to, like, grow
I
up at
feel
some
like we
point.
all
But
take
it's like,
Yeah.
traits
oh, she
from
did get
family
it honest.
members too. Like I have the best and worst, parts of both of my parents on some things that are like, I mean, we all kind of do. But yes, watching the parents come into play, especially the mom. I mean, I would miss her the most, really. Mama Dorothy she gives me good TV, and I
Yeah.
love when she brings messiness, and then she's like, Candace is like, you need to apologize. She's like, for
She
what?
triggers me. I'm
She,
sorry, but she triggers me. She wears me thin, honey. She wears me thinner than non-existent edges. Oh my gosh, she
All right. Well, Trish, Georgia, I'm
love
going to
you
go ahead and
dearly. Like
bring
we
up a
love you
few other callers.
dearly, but girl, she scares me.
I'm going to bring up some other callers to rotate on this conversation, and then we have a lot more to talk about. So if you guys are around, I would love to bring you back up.
Thanks, Adam. And
Thank you,
Georgia,
sir.
you look beautiful as always.
Always.
Thank
It's
you,
so
sweet pea.
always.
I know, always.
All right.
It's literally just lotion and good character.
I mean, I tried
Jesus.
lotion too, and my character's just fine. Thanks, Jordan. Okay. All right. I love messing with Jordan. Okay, I'm going to bring up a few other callers on this topic, and that way we can move on because we do have some other topics to talk about. Let's bring up some of the ones that we lost in the beginning. Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
Oh, yep. No echo. Hi, Philly Diva.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Hi, JC.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. How are you? And
Good,
then also,
thank you.
I just want to say, Team Catania and Cocktails with Lovable Lisa, I'm bringing you up next. I was trying to go in order, but I do want to touch on this Potomac topic really quick. Sarah and Philly Diva, since we had to drop you down for mic issues, I'll start with you, Sarah, and then go to Philly Diva, and then to JC. Do you think this rumor could potentially be true about Candace losing her job, or do you think it's just pre-press for the show?
So I feel like there are a couple options. One, I feel like if the ladies are tired of her and don't want to film with her, which I don't know why they would change, and they all know, like, we need to make good TV, and Candace makes good TV. I would say I don't feel like she's fired, unless that would be kind of one of the things. The other thing is I feel like she really could go out and pursue a music career and that type of thing, or acting. And so if she wanted to do that, so part of me wonders if she's not there. I don't feel like, I agree with Jordan. She makes for good TV. And so even though, and I feel like you're right, she does do it better when she goes in on people. It's, I do feel like she goes a step too far, but if you're going to go in on somebody and you're going in on Candace, she's going to come back not twice as hard, but 3, 4, like she is going to leave you with nothing. So,
and Sarah, to your point too, her career, and I've said this, Jason and I have had this conversation. I loved her music. I loved watching her. She's now had a couple acting gigs, and not just like basic ones, like legit acting gigs. And I've really enjoyed watching her you know, branch out in her career. I like her so much better as an actress and as a singer than I do on reality TV, only because I'm thinking about the longevity in it. And a lot of people who go on reality TV and who start building these reputations, even like we saw on the last season of Potomac, when she was sitting down with the music managers, they were like, we need to take control over social media. This can't be a hot mess if we're going to represent you, because we are a company, a brand, and now you're representing us, we're representing you. It has to be like, we need to keep it clean here. So
Exactly. And you can't be the hot mess express 24/7. So I think there may be a kernel of truth that maybe she's not on, but I don't think that they would fire her. Like everybody said, she makes good TV, and she isn't screwing up on the show. I say screw. Her public or her tweets and that kind of stuff are messy, but those aren't necessarily on the show. So anyway, but I'm sure that the other ladies have some good opinions. So.
all right, Philly Diva, you want to chime in on this one?
So I saw the blind item and everybody ran with it. I think this was a suggestion. Like,
Okay.
Candace is on her way out. It'll be one of those things where she may film and end up coming back as a friend of, if she doesn't show any growth, and usually friend of is fired. So I think that there's an expectation of growth with her because she's had the most, this on the show. And what you never want is your leading ladies to say, we don't want to film with you. So the fact that Giselle and Karen were beefing last season and have made up, have been shown doing post together, and they have reconciled to more on the friendship side than the frenemy side. If the two of them band together and say that they're not filming with you, you really do end up being a friend of, unless you can't show growth.
That's true too. That's what they did to Brandy. Glanville, they all said she's too messy, we're not filming with her. And then by the time once all the housewives agree that they don't want to film with you, they can push you out. Like at that point, producers are like, we can't make them film with this woman. What do we do? And of course, even if they can make them film one scene or two scenes and have them pop up and have like a shock factor moment, they can't send them on vacations together. They can't make the women invite them to their new business openings, stuff like that. It's,
well, remember when Jill Zarin would pop up when nobody wanted to film with her?
Yeah.
And it didn't make for great TV, but at the same time, they said no. And I think that was like her last season. So
I agree.
She has this kind of crossroads where she can do one of two things. At the end of the day, we all are kind of rooting for Candace to be a less venomous version of herself. She does give good TV. She does have different layers. She is beautiful and talented and has a natural storyline if you just follow her family and her trying to become an artist. Like that's it right there.
Right.
So she doesn't have to be so venomous. I want to like her and I want to root for her. But when you wish death on somebody on the internet, and when you purposefully hit below the belt, like I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Giselle hasn't done it, or that Karen hasn't done it, or even Robin when she went up to that Australian restaurant, the Kangaroo Roo. When she went to Roo before it closed and was almost ready to knock Ashley's face in.
Yep.
Like, let's not forget some other women on Potomac have done things.
No, and that's why I said it's like they've all kind of. It's across the board. It's that there's really nothing that she's done that different than anyone else except for the social media activity. But
her social media is, and at the same time, those incidents were only maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but in the grand scheme of social media and reality TV, that was a lifetime ago. Right. And people have, the memories of elephants or the memories of goldfish. So you will either you will either forget and it's just forgotten and you'll never bring it up again, or you will carry it with you forever. You will hear them forever, and it will always like haunt you, and you can't grow. I want her to be able to grow. I want her to grow. I want her to flourish. I want her to have excellence and still bring the drama and still bring the sass.
I agree.
Gray Matters, she didn't send the blogger for Monique didn't send the blogger for Candace. Like, and even if she did send the blogger for Candace, why would you still tell somebody, I hope you kill yourself, I hope you die? Like, what?
Yeah,
Everything
no,
doesn't need that type of reaction.
That blogger, to be fair, the blogger that's being talked about right now did really like Monique and did favor Monique in these arguments, these back and forth. But again, that doesn't matter. Like, we could, you know, what's so funny and something that I love. And to be fair, you know, Zach and I, we have a lot of conversations getting ready for our April, like 3 cities. And when we talk about Jen Shaw and Erica and we talk about these different things, I think that's why we're able to do it. We get along. We don't argue about it, but we have very different opinions, like very, very different opinions on all of it. And Zach, sometimes I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, what are you talking about? And we just kind of go back and forth. But I'm also not going to be like, you know what, Zach? I'm not going to, I would never, it's not, I couldn't do that to somebody.
And that's the thing, that's the line that shouldn't be crossed. Like, there are lines in humanity that shouldn't be crossed, whether he lied or not, Gray Matters. Like, I think you're missing my point. So I can always agree to disagree with somebody, but what she did was wrong.
Right.
I'm not saying that he wasn't, but she has a larger platform to millions.
Right.
And she wished harm on a human being because he lied. Like, where does that equate? Like, I thought I hit you with a rock, you shoot me with a gun. That doesn't equate. So that's, I think, what most people's problem is with Candace. If I shoot you with if I throw a BB gun at you, or I do something minimalistic, funny shade that is meant to hurt your feelings that you have brought up on camera, and you tell me I'm a disgusting whore and my husband's a slaver, like, those are 2 different types of insults.
Right.
So I need people to understand the gravitas of what, like, the literal words of what people are saying. Because it's real easy to say, well, she said something and I said something back and I heard. No, you need to understand what she's saying with her words. Like, what her words are actually meaning, the context.
Right.
The context of what she's saying. So I don't want to, go back and forth, because I see, I hurt Gray Matter's feelings with the situation. He's not really hearing me. I'm trying to hear him, but we can agree to disagree.
Well,
and
that's the thing too. We're not all going to agree on this. And, to be fair with that too, I see people are like, can we move on to the next? And I'm like, yes, guys, we don't have to give all of our attention to Potomac for sure.
Candace won't be getting a lot of camera time anyway, so let's not give her any more in here.
Okay. Well, Philly Diva and Sarah, if you don't mind, I'm going to just drop you both down really quick and then bring you back up with other people. I'm just going to move on to this next topic because the Bravo DACA came out with some new information, and I don't know if people have seen this yet.
Okay.
All right. Be right back. All right, guys. I also see, again, I'm bringing up Krista, Cocktails with Lovable Lisa. I see Bougie KM. Bougie, Bad and Bougie, are you there? I think you are. Okay. Yes, guys, we will move on from this. We have over 550 in the room, so go ahead and smash that like button. Let's bring up this because the Bravo docket, listen, you guys know we love our legal commentators over here. We love when they come on, and we love, I guess, just the mess of it because they're always breaking down the legal scandals for Bravo. Now, they came out with something about Teresa Giudice's new man, Louis Ruelas. And I do have questions for Krista because this is kind of Krista's realm, Real Housewives of New Jersey. Let's see. All right. So ever gotten one of those, we'd like to contact you about your vehicle's extended warranty messages? Can you guess whose company is being sued for similar messages? Teresa's fiance, Louis Ruelas, is the co-founder of Digital Media Solutions. DMS is a data broker. Data brokers buy and sell personal information. Oh, this sounds familiar. Digital Media Solutions uses robocalls, emails, and text messages to collect and sell data. Okay. And Digital Media Solutions is being sued for violating the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Okay. Digital Media Solutions was also sued in California for violating restrictions on unsolicited commercials and emails. The plaintiffs alleged Digital Media Solutions doing business as Platinum Auto Warranty sent nearly 300 unlawful and unsolicited commercial emails. What actions violate the TCPA? A consumer can file a TCPA lawsuit against a business if they feel that the company is sending them marketing messages without their explicit consent. Damages for violating the TCPA are $500 per text or actual damages, whichever is greater. For willful or knowing violations, the damages can be up to $1,500 per text. It continues, the FTC just filed a lawsuit against the company accused of the most notorious robocall campaign. And they just ended off with that. Now, you know, this for me, I have to say, while we're talking about this, one, the telemarketing kind of thing, obviously we know we're dealing with similar lawsuits and on another franchise, but also two, Dana Wilkie was one of the first who kept telling me, you know, do you know any of the housewives of New Jersey? And I was like, not really. Like one of Jason and I's good friends is really great friends with Dolores. And she's like, well, I think it's pretty shocking that Dolores' son is working for Louis Ruelas. And I said, why is that shocking? And she's like, oh, don't worry. Things are going to come out. And I'm like, Dana, what's coming out? And then she always does that to me where she says, well, you got to catch my Patreon. I'm like, I'm your friend. Just give me the information. Just talk to me. She's like, no, Adam, because you're going to go out there and put it out and then people aren't going to my Patreon. I get it. We all got to work. Okay. We all got to work, Dana. But before I bring up callers to see if they're surprised about this, there was one other thing that I wanted to bring up, and it has to do with this woman right here, our little Gia Giudice. I did a poll asking you guys if you think the rumor is true about Gia making $50,000 for this season, because it was this woman, Kim D, who we've had on our show before, who is the one who said that she believes that she is. But her wording on it when she went on David Yontief's Behind the Velvet Rope, it doesn't really sell me on it. Now, could I see Gia making some money? Yeah, because we see her in the confessionals and she's been a part of it. She's been a part of the show. And Kim said, I read it in one of the blogs and it said that one of the daughters, which was Gia, you know, New Jersey Housewives, got $50,000. But when she was talking about this, she said, I think that Joe Giudice, or not Joe Giudice, but Joe Gorga is mad about it because the husbands don't make any money on the show. That's absolutely not true. The house husbands are the only husbands on any of the Real Housewives franchises. If you watched the show last night, you can see why, that actually get their own contracts and their own paychecks. So that part wasn't true, which makes me wonder, again, why I named this thumbnail, Rumors or Facts, if Gia Giudice, in your mind, could actually be commanding $50,000 for the season. This isn't the first kid that we've heard making money on a franchise. We also heard Tamra Judge's son, Ryan, was also at one point making money, but I couldn't see where Ryan would be making money because he wasn't really filming that much. If anybody, I could see Gia more than, I guess, anyone else. I need somebody to chime in on this.
So why wouldn't they get paid?
Of course, you're already going in.
Like, well, seriously, like, why wouldn't they get paid? She should get paid. She's well over 18. She's been on for since day one. Like, she has her song thing coming out, waking up in the morning, you know. Like, she should get paid. $50,000. Is that what they're saying? She gets paid an episode or a season?
A season.
Oh, that's nothing. I think she should get way more than that, don't you?
So you think that, I know that you think she should get paid. Do you
I think it's true. Yeah.
I think it's true.
Yeah, I think it's more. Yeah, definitely.
And does it shock you?
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. No, you go ahead. And you look so pretty, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I'm just shocked that people are shocked that that would even question her getting paid. Like, I assumed that, like, once they hit 18, I even assumed they might even get something when they're younger, but maybe the parents would take it, because as much as the Giudice kids have been on, I think that they deserve it. And, like, definitely, like, Vicky's kids and Tamara's kids. I mean, well, not really. Ryan. You know what I mean? I just assume, I would just assume that they would. And I think $50,000 a season is nothing. I think she should get way more than that. But I believe it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's more.
Were you shocked about the rumor that Louis' company is being investigated for this whole telemarketing situation? First of all, I thought he was in real estate. I didn't know that he had a separate business that was making these phone calls and,
There's a lot of dumb companies. Okay. This is, I believe, if I'm not wrong, this is a new citing. It's something they're just getting started. Like all the companies that make these phone calls are getting cited for. I don't think he's actually getting in trouble. I don't think it's a criminal thing. I could be wrong. But I believe that, because those phone calls, I get them like 5 times a day. I just hang up on them. I didn't understand what it was, this whole warranty thing. I still don't know what it is. He's not the only company doing
yesterday about they're like your auto warranty, and I'm like, auto warranty? I don't even know if I have a warranty. I don't know what. I'm the worst at adulting.
I have a license since 2007. How would I didn't have a vehicle.
Okay, well then you really don't have an auto warranty.
I really don't.
So
but I think. He also, his name's on a lot of different, there's like a list of companies his name's on. I don't know exactly what they all mean. Now, okay, so say that somebody works for a company that his name's on, just because they work for that, if that company gets in trouble for something, the owner gets in trouble, say if you're working for a mortgage broker and they collect application fee, if they tell you to collect application fees on a new loan, and then the people that you're working for collect those application fees. Well, we didn't know it was illegal. So, and say that becomes illegal, then the owner gets in trouble. But it's just, so Frankie is not doing, I don't think he's doing anything wrong. If something happens while he's working for him, he has the opportunity to just leave if it's,
right.
Right.
So
is this something new? This came out, this news?
Yes.
Okay.
It just came out.
I know Dana was already, we already kind of knew by that video that something's shady. Dana already picked that out by the people in the background. So.
I always say to this, I'm always please don't there's nothing you can really I don't have I don't have a business or anything that's frauding anybody or anything, but I'm just please, when she wants to look into something, she goes in, she's investigator Dana. And I'm I just would never want to piss you off if I were on one of these shows.
No, I wouldn't. No, not at all. And I just think maybe this one company, this one situation, he might have to pay a fine for it, but he'll probably terminate that company. And then he has plenty of companies that are legal. So he makes plenty of legal money. Okay. So if this is something new that all the different companies that are cited for, I just think it's just because he's on TV. We already think he's a shady guy. So of course we're going to see his name. His is going to be picked out of plenty of other people. And who knows, this Jennifer Shaw thing, like she said, she found a way around it, but then that became illegal as well, and she kept doing it. So as long as he doesn't keep doing this, allegedly, God, oh God, I can't.
Allegedly,
the last person finally signed their plea against her. Is she out of her freaking mind? I can't.
Well, we're gonna bring up Bad and Bougie to chime in on this as well. Before we do, because I know Bad and Bougie loves her some Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so I got to bring this up before I bring up Bad and Bougie. And I see her just nodding her head in the background. One, I want to say, guys, we have, first of all, over 615 in the room. Smash that like button. Second, we have another special guest joining us in the next 2 weeks. I don't want to tell you who she is, but she is in this photo. Wait. She's joining us. She actually reached out to me and said that she watches Up and Adam. I've met her before, and she's like, let's do a collab together. And I was like, I would freaking love to. Now, I want to let your guys' imaginations run wild on this one, but she is in this photo, so we'll go with that. And I also love me some Kris Jenner. I can say I wish it was
Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner. Do you think Kris Jenner has the time to be watching YouTube?
She's the only person I recognize anyway because I don't have my glasses on.
Okay. Let's bring up Bad and Bougie again before we do. Andy Cohen last night on Watch What Happens Live said that we owe Erica an apology.
Huh?
He said that we owe Erica an apology because of this. Suddenly a winter wonderland in Pasadena after a short but intense hailstorm. It snowed in Pasadena. We said it couldn't happen. We said it wouldn't happen. It happened.
I said it hasn't snowed since 2019, not in 2020. I said I literally Googled it and said it did not snow in 2020. It hasn't snowed since 2019. So I can't stand him.
Okay, let's bring up Bad and Bougie. Hi, Bad and Bougie.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, Adam.
So, Bad and Bougie, you're the closest one to Pasadena in this moment right now that's on this panel. Does this change your mind about Erica's story at all?
Absolutely not, because it still wasn't snowing in Pasadena, because I checked. It wasn't snowing in Pasadena when she said it was, when her son's car rolled over. So Andy, he's gone on, he's way out here.
He lost you on this one?
He's reaching, I understand that he likes Erica and everybody can see that. But some of the things he says are absolutely ridiculous, and that she is owed an apology.
I think he's trying to piss me off.
No, that's just ridiculous. I mean, she doesn't apologize for anything she does. She is very unapologetic with all these people, and somebody owes her an apology. And he really shows who he likes and who he doesn't really care for a lot when he makes statements like that, because that's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, actually, I was watching last night too, and him and Jennifer Aiden, they've been very vocal about like the fact that she says that he doesn't like me. You can see sometimes the way that they interact with each other. And she looked so incredibly uncomfortable on that episode. And Jason even said, "What's wrong with her?" I was like, one, it looks like she probably had a couple shots before she went on, because she was probably like, I don't want to do this. And two, she looks like it's not the same as like Teresa or Erica or LVP or somebody sitting across and they have a great banter and they really enjoy each other. It looks like they just do not like each other. And I was like, this is, we can, as an audience, we can see right through this. Now, I would have played the clip of Andy Cohen, but Watch What Happens Live would have flagged us for copyright issues. So I didn't want to play that, but you guys can go watch last night's episode. And then with that, Bad and Bougie, I want you to also chime in on the fact that there is the rumor that came from Kim D saying that Gia Giudice was commanding a $50,000 salary this season for her time on The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Do you think that is a rumor, or do you think that could potentially be a fact?
Well, I mean, first of all, if we're talking about Kim D, who believes anything she says at this point? However, I do think Gia should get some money. Especially this season with Joe and she's been on every episode. I don't think it's anything wrong. She's 21 and she's not a child anymore, being supported by her mom, or at least, she would want to have some of her own money. She's an adult. She's on the show. I think she should get paid. She gets, she was a big story last season about, well, maybe, Gia did drugs, but I don't know. Remember that? So she had to go through stuff at her school because of that. So, yeah, I feel like she deserves the money, and I feel like she probably deserves a little bit more, but maybe, she's just starting out. So, but yeah, I think she definitely deserves it.
And she also has confessionals. Jordan, I just muted it for a second while I brought you up, but I will unmute it right now.
Hey,
I see you saying tap me in. You're like, tap me in.
She has the most leverage. I wouldn't believe that anybody else was getting paid as a kid, let alone this amount, if it wasn't Gia Giudice Johnson. Because
where did the Johnson come from?
It just seemed like it fit.
Okay.
Because she just got a little, Anyway, but she has the most leverage. Like, she's attached to the star of the show. She's been on the show since day one. She's been breaking up fights since the 3rd grade. They're literally setting up scenes to include her on camera, like at her waking up in the morning, thinking of so many things. Shirt launch. Like, they're just setting up scenes for her to be there. She has confessionals, which, by the way, she looks lovely, darling.
She's beautiful.
She is beautiful. And people,
all those girls are beautiful. All of those girls are so pretty.
And we started off the entire season with her storyline in congruence with Jennifer's storyline. Like those were the A and B storylines of the whole season. So it's like she's literally working this season.
Two things really quick too. One, I love watching last night's episode. And by the way, guys, over 660 in the room, we are going live at 12:15 today with Zach Peter, with Ryan Bailey, with Jeff Epstein, who is a comedian, with Jolene Lunzer. We have another big announcement coming up. So that hopefully you guys can join us at 12:15 p.m. But we will be recapping the whole episode. I love when Melania was going in on Joe Giudice, and you see Teresa with this big grin, like, look at my baby go. And then I was watching social media, and they were all saying Gia's only pretty because she got her new nose job. I'm like, you guys are reckless. Like, this is, first of all, Gia didn't need a nose job. To make her look pretty. She has always been, new nose or not, a beautiful girl. All of her, like Bad and Bougie said, all of Teresa's daughters are really pretty. They all look very different, but they're all very pretty.
Yeah, I really think they are. I think she deserves a little more. Actually, 50,000 is not a lot of money.
No.
Right.
I think it's great for her first coming on as an actual like on camera personality, her being paid to be that. I think it's great for her first season. Our next season should, because you got to think like most housewives don't get paid that much their first seasons.
I mean,
And then on top of that, okay. And I don't think she got paid that much her second season either.
Well, she got like 120 for her second season.
Oh,
so
well,
she negotiated the hell out of that one.
Well, thank God, child. She held out as long as her. Well, anyway, I ain't even gonna get in on her. But I think like this just makes sense. Like it literally makes sense. Like she has merch. She has something to contribute to the pot. She's attached to the most popular person on the show, to the glue of the show. Like she actually has a vested storyline that's included with her family, but it's also personal stake because like it's her feelings and she's the one that had the fight with Joe, not Teresa. Like it just seems like she's doing way too much to be doing it for free.
Right. I agree with that. All right.
And she deserves it. She just damn well deserves it. She got a hit song. She got t-shirts.
I mean, a hit song.
Yeah.
It went viral.
It went viral. What do you call a hit nowadays? TikTok is viral now. Like that's a hit nowadays. I don't know because I'm 30 and I'm wrong.
And especially when Will Smith is like, Teresa said, when Will Smith's up there and he's like waking up in the morning thinking about so many things. Yeah, you're like, okay, this is.
Well, look, let me say this. She's definitely more interesting.
Great, but it's so depressing. It's like a Sarah McLachlan song. That is a fact.
Well, I think she's so much more interesting than Robin, and I know Robin is getting paid more than 50,000, and Robin doesn't deserve 50 cents. So,
whoa!
Really?
I'm not gonna give her all that. Now, I love Robin down. She just ain't grown in 6 seasons. Now, I'm not.
Robin,
did you say that? Can Bad and Bougie say that?
I said that.
I said what it is. Like, she ain't grown in 6 seasons, and them embellished heads ain't giving me.
I don't even know how she came back. I was like,
Giselle.
Well, no, but they also said she came back because Monique decided to walk. So
that
they
is
needed.
Also true.
Honestly,
I thought you guys were saying earlier that she's going to come back next season.
Oh, we don't know that for sure yet.
Oh, okay.
We don't know any of the casting yet for next season.
Oh,
she can either be in or out. You know, one of the things.
Check the sales of the embellished hats. We'll see if she's coming back.
Well, she said she's making $40,000 a month on the embellished hats, or a week. Did she say a week or a month?
I was about to say, because how much of that is going to Bravo
then? 10%, right?
Oh,
I think
Which is
10%.
All right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's only an extra like $50,000 a year for Bravo. So that's not enough for them to keep her around because they're paying her more than that.
I mean,
Even if it offsets, it's not offsetting it by that much. But while I want you, if you guys can, I want to bring up another topic just to keep this moving. Guys, 700 in the room. And I also pinned the link for you guys right here to join us at 12:15. I copied Kanye in the fact that he feels like if you do all caps, then it's easier to get your point across. So I wanted to do all caps on that. Hold on.
I mean,
Let's
sometimes.
Okay, here it is. 2 things. 1, where are you? Here we are. Okay, so we heard that Kathy Hilton, the reason that Lisa Rinna was going in on her so hard was because she allegedly yelled at the DJ white privilege. And Lisa Rinna wanted her to be held accountable for that. And this is all hearsay right now. The cameras were not rolling. It was at this Caribou Club in Aspen when this happened. No cameras around. Kyle Richards wasn't around. And Lisa Rinna was like, I heard it with my own ears. Erica heard it, and you need to be held accountable. Now we're hearing a completely different version of this story. That word on the curb, Kathy Hilton called Sutton's assistant the F word. More details are coming out. And thank you, Mr. Marcus White, More details are coming out about the recent group trip to the Beverly Hills Housewives took that led Kathy to send a cease and desist letter to Lisa Rinna and stop filming the rest of the season. So if you haven't heard all the ladies went to Aspen 2 weeks ago to film their group trip for the upcoming season 12, Kathy allegedly had some type of meltdown because all the ladies left the house for dinner without her. There are reports saying that when the ladies returned back to their Airbnb, Kathy began to curse them out and throw objects at them and the producers. I don't believe that part. I don't believe that. 3 days after they returned home, Lisa Rinna posted on her IG stories that she was sent a cease and desist letter from Kathy Hilton to silence her from talking about Kathy's behavior while on the trip. Blogs are now saying that during Kathy's meltdown, she called Sutton's assistant the F word that rhymes with maggot. This angered Sutton, I can't say that word, Erica Jane, and Lisa Rinna. Kathy stopped filming after they returned from Aspen and even skipped out on the finale event, which was filmed Friday, to attend Donald Trump's Super Bowl party. Kathy has since denied having any type of meltdown in Aspen and said that she had a great time with the ladies. I don't know if I believe any of this. Kathy doesn't seem like the person to curse and throw objects. Now, one thing I want to say really quick is Zach and I both agreed Kathy's manager right now, who keeps on talking to Radar Online and answering for a lot of these things, this manager is not making things better because the manager is like, she's doing a charity event in Palm Beach, which she could be, but then you see it's so easy for people to run with like this, narrative that she was supporting a Trump Super Bowl party, whatever. Also, we heard, and this is facts, before Kathy stopped filming, producers were able to convince her to do a sit down with Kyle Richards, her sister, and Lisa Rinna. That was her last filming event. It makes me wonder, was Kyle trying to mediate this situation? What actually was said in this situation? And if this was the last time she actually filmed with the women, then bet your AWS that it's going to be featured on the new season. They're going to show that conversation, which I have questions. I have questions. Do you think that, I'm going to go around the room, do you think Kathy could have potentially have said the F word that rhymes with maggot?
I don't think so. I mean, who's saying this? Lisa Rinna? And Rinna's the only one hearing all this stuff? I mean,
Lisa Rinna and Erica.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people would have heard this. And I'm sure a lot of other people would have came forward if that was her screaming that. Don't you think? A lot more.
I believe that more than I believe her just randomly yelling white privilege out of context.
Right. That even sounds really
now, mind you, even if she did say that, Rinna, you are the wrong damn messenger to deliver anything about race, especially when you were the one that was exposed for not wanting race talked about on the show at the last reunion. So you may want to keep your mouth shut and your bronzer in your purse. Now, as far as Kathy goes, I just like
and there's a little bit.
These girls can't make it 2 seasons nowadays. Like it seemed like the first season they are the fan favorite, and then the next season they are Satan incarnate. What is it with these new girls?
It's a second season curse. They're trying though.
I mean, Lisa Rinna's trying to, like you said, Jordan, yesterday. Lisa Rinna's trying to use the political, kind of thing to sway this whole argument, but also. Hello.
She's triggering elected outrage. Exactly. Like if y'all go on my Twitter, I posted a whole video of her talking about what a great guy and how unfiltered Trump was. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about his politics, but he's a great guy. I just hate. Hate is a strong word, but I have great disdain for Lisa Rinna.
Me too. Bye.
She's just too much. I do think that I don't believe the throwing stuff at people. I just don't see her throwing stuff at people. So I don't believe that part of it.
I don't think production would have put up with that.
Very unfortunate if she did use that word, but if she used the word, then she does need to be held accountable. It is what it is. We can't hold some wives. When I came in, you guys were talking about Candace like she was a devil reincarnated. Me personally, I like Candace, and I don't think she does anything any different than anybody else, but that's on another rant.
No. Actually, Bad and Bougie, I want to hear your input on that really quick because I said the same thing too, that I think that she makes for great TV, and on the show, she has not done anything different really than any of the other women. And Jordan made a good point, which it's not that it's not really what she does on camera, it's what she does on social media. And
that is the problem.
Really, if she was going to get fired for her actions on social media, you would think because of the blogger situation and some other things that have come up in the past that would have happened. So I can't really see anything that has happened from that time that she wasn't fired, still completely filmed an entire new season, to now that she's done anything worse than that moment right there.
She hasn't. And what the real problem is, and people don't want to talk about it, but I'll talk about it since I'm a Black woman, is the colorism that's going on in that show.
Exactly.
With Giselle and Robin, and these, icing people
Ashley's
out, and getting people fired and making people quit. They are and talking about people's family. They are mean and vicious. And if anything needs to stop, they need to stop Giselle from making up lies on people and people's husbands. So to me, that's way worse than anything Candace has said or done on the show. Now, I do agree she is a mess off the show, and she needs to change her social media correspondence or whatever you want to call it, but
she needs to get a new social media manager.
Okay.
I like to blame the manager.
Okay.
Wait, can I say something about Lisa?
Yeah.
Real quick? Lisa Rinna, I think she has the ability. She's shown us that she'll stretch or twist the truth. And as far as Kathy going to the Trump thing, I was listening and watch What Happens Live last night, and they were saying that it was a pre-planned thing in production. Production already knew that she was going to go do it. Now, do I like Trump? No, I don't. But is it a sin to go to a Trump party? No, it's not. So, if she likes the guy and she wants to go to his party, that's her choice. I don't think she should be, there should be something wrong with, I don't like him, true enough, but a lot of people do. So, that's not doing anything wrong. I don't think she was throwing stuff at the girls on the show. That sounds ridiculous. And if she said the F word, yes, that she does need to be held accountable. But like you guys said, Rinna is not the one to hold anyone accountable. And remember, I told you guys before the season that Lisa Rinna was going to be acting a pure FOOL.
Thirsty.
Every season she gets more and more desperate.
Well, yes, the reason why I think she thinks it's okay to do so, because what she can do is well, last season I had just lost my mom, so I was going through so much, and I said it on your show, Adam. I said she's going to use the death of her mom as a reason to act a complete idiot, and that's exactly.
But she also nailed Lisa Vanderpump to the cross during the same time frame 2 seasons ago when she lost her brother. So no,
and her mother.
No.
What's her excuse when she did the thing?
And her parents, like she lost her mother and her brother within a year, and you basically nailed her to the cross for an entire season over a freaking dog. Which, and mind you, we love the animals around here, but
we do, right? And her brother too. The thing is, unfortunately,
the way he passed.
My heart breaks for Jason right now, because Jason's about to fly out to Boise, Idaho, because his grandmother's going through it and having major health issues. But this is something that their family's anticipating. And this is something that it's a gradual, like they see what is about to eventually this will play out, and they know what the outcome looks like. But for somebody who takes their own life, you're not expecting that. That's a completely different shock factor, as opposed to somebody who you're watching kind of gradually, you see their health declining. Before though, I want to, by the way, we're sending love to you. I'm going to bring up Sarah back with us too. And I do want to bring up a couple other topics on this really quick. Hi, Sarah, welcome back. I'm going to bring this up. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, one thing, Lala Kent is calling out Us Weekly, because Us Weekly put an article out that said Lala Kent and Randall Emmett had a brief interaction at Super Bowl party. After split, exes felt obligated to say hi. Lala Kent called out the fake news, saying, "This is a complete lie, Us Weekly. You should be ashamed, and we should all question everything you publish. I never saw him, never laid eyes on him. Thankfully, if I did see him, he would never get an obligated hi from me. I want to maintain as much distance from him as possible for many reasons. I will continue to co-parent through the recommended app, but that is where it ends, and that will not change." Now,
nobody here has anything better to do. Us Weekly don't have anything better to write about, and she don't have anything better to do but sit her ass on Instagram.
Does anybody really care about this at all?
And
really,
I also wanted to ask if anybody cares about this. Okay, hold on.
They should say hi to each other. They have a child. Come on.
Like Ocean must be the best behaved baby
I
ever.
know. Like they should say hi to each other. They have a child, so like who cares if they did or didn't? Like
Even my parents, after
cares
like
if they saw
everything
each
that
other
they
at
went
all?
through, my parents dragged each other through the mud. And after that, which they
They're
waited, and I always
grown.
still ask them this. I'm like, you got like, I remember growing up and like I was in middle school and I used to get like anxiety in 7th and 8th grade. And I would think about my senior year and graduation because I was so afraid of my parents being in the same room for graduation. And I was thinking, you know, like my stepmom was a complete ass and she was so hateful, so mean. She was abusive.
So nasty and so
Yes, so nasty and so rude. And you know, I would get nervous that my mom, Jordan, I think we lost you. Jordan. I'm gonna drop you and then bring you back. Well, I'll drop the link for you to call back in. But you know, I would always get kind of nervous about this. And if you can get control over this ahead of time, which I don't know, I'm not a parent, but I just kind of as a kid, from my point of view growing up, if you can actually get along for the sake of your kid, and your kid doesn't have to see the vitriol like spit out by each sides and like the hatefulness, then that's a good thing. That's a good
take
thing.
a page out of the Catania book. Look at Dolores and Frank. She absolutely made sure that that family, like she said, no matter how she felt about what he did, that family stayed together, and they're still living together, which I love.
And they're still living together. And I also wanted to ask you guys, do you care? I don't know if anybody watched this. I'm not big on Summer House or Southern Charm or even Winter House that recently came out. They had their first season, and I was like, there's no way that this show is going to get another season. Well, I mean, actually, if anybody watched it, this just came out showing that, in fact, are you ready for the return of Winter House? Because they are now looking for a field producer returning for February 21st through March 14th. Okay. And this position will be located in Vermont. This is obviously for Winter House. No, I mean, listen, I'm not going to be mad at it. I just don't watch it. I didn't think the ratings were great. How are they able to continue on? But I could see this show coming back before this show. And if you guys haven't heard about this, there's a new show coming out called The 7-Year Stitch with the DeBros. And they're actually going to be helping couples, okay, because they've been through it all. They said that they've been through the trials and tribulations of being in a relationship, and they can help people now. So they're going to be counseling couples on E. This is the network that's giving them the platform, and it's going to be called The 7-Year Stitch. Are we here for it, or do we think that this is going to be a joke of a show?
I think it's going to be a joke. I'm not here for it. I'm over Heather. Like this season of Real Housewives of Orange County, I think and I went into the season, if you remember, loving Heather, but it's just too much of kissing Heather's butt and Heather's telling everybody off, and you know, it's just too much. You can only take so much of a dose of Heather. So to have Orange County and then now have this show where, what have you been through, Heather? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's hard being rich and building $40 million homes. What does she have you identify with?
I mean, maybe Jason and I should have a show in counseling people, because he had to deal with me through my entire 20s. Like I went through like 5 different phases of, I was Adam, crazy Adam, wild Adam, nice Adam, and now I'm calm
reality
Adam.
TV Adam.
He's been through it all.
Changed a lot. Oh.
You change a lot.
You do in your 20s, especially. Wow,
yeah.
It's like
I always say with Georgia, like she's been with her husband her whole 20s. I was like, wow, like you go through a lot.
Yes.
In your 20s, you're 25. It's a lot,
And we don't even have a kid. Like Georgia has a kid. Bad and Bougie has even spoken about her divorce before. You know, you also, Krista, you don't give yourself enough credit, but you talk about how you met your husband. Sarah has had a whole life that we don't know about. Like everybody has had ups and downs within relationships. So what the hell makes you more qualified? I mean,
she knows, because you know what, everything they do it turns to gold. They're gonna make money off of it. I mean, I don't know if it'll make it more than one season, but I don't know. I just, like you said, like what really, like has he ever? They didn't go through cheating that we know of. They haven't been through financial lows. They haven't, like,
or maybe they're gonna tell us how to go through all that and just hide it really well. Maybe that'll be the show.
Maybe.
Maybe
So,
look
maybe
how
we don't
look
know.
how we presented a united front for all these years, and look at all the hell he put me through, and I built him from day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to make this
No,
sound interesting.
because
I'm just trying to
Heather,
make this sound interesting.
Heather wants the perception of just being perfect in every way. So there's no way
100%.
she's going to tell no deep, dark secrets about anything that they've been through. She's going to seem
100%.
preachy and judgy. And I've had enough of her preachy, judgy self on Orange County. I don't need it nowhere else. So that I probably definitely watching.
You are a big Heather fan. It's showing. You are.
This is where her pretension is. Like, this is where her pretension goes too far, because like I like that she's stuck up on the show, but it's not really about her having money. She's just stuck up in general. But this, it's like, girl, what qualifications do you have to tell people how to conduct themselves in a marriage? Like, girl, listen. If you want to be the queen of etiquette, that's one thing, but you don't need. But what qualifications do you have to be giving anybody advice on what to do in a marriage, boo?
Yeah, I think I will probably, honestly, I'll probably watch the first season or at least the first few episodes. And if it turns me off, then I won't be watching. I agree with Georgia. I like Heather on the show, and, you know, she's funny. She's fun with a lot of different, like, here, I'm going to bring the pineapple for whatever your drink is or whatever.
Mean girl.
But there's sometimes where she does, you know, I mean, there's very few housewives that I'm like, oh, I would like to be friends with in real life. So, I mean, that's
ever,
just,
but she's great.
I mean, I wouldn't ride on the PJ, you know, but
I think life is different. And I have some family members with money and I have some family members without money. And life is different when you have your normal problems and you are both working to put food on the table and to pay rent. Right. And that's something that I don't know that she is going to really understand and be able to relate to. And like somebody else said, cheating, different. I think there's going to be some things that she can, you know, can relate to. I will say a third party coming in and, you know, looking at stuff is sometimes helpful. I mean, that's why I still go to therapy all the time. So, you know, but she's
great
also
for
licensed.
aspirational
It's not,
TV, but I don't know.
Well,
like,
I just, to be fair, you know, that is true. Like, they're in a completely different situation. When you're spending $30,000 on a Nobu lunch where the women don't even get to eat the food, there are some people like I have family members.
And Terry acts surprised that it costs that much. $30,000.
Exactly. And I have family members too, like who don't even make $30,000 in a year, let alone to spend on one, you know, event, which is absolutely mind blowing. It's not anything against the DeBros. You've done it. You're successful. You've made it, but it's just not very relatable to a lot of people.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. And a lot of people are going to come in and be like, okay, you don't understand because you don't work a 12-hour shift and then come home to a screaming baby and have to deal with this, and this, and then finding out that your husband's on his phone all the time. Like, this is not, we're not in the same situation. So I am with Sarah on this one where I will watch to see how ridiculous this is for an episode or two. I don't see myself committing. And E, to be fair, I love E. I've always loved E, but their best show was Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And ever since then, they have not really had a lot of great reality TV shows. Like at this point, it's Daily Pop, and I'll watch for Justin Sylvester, but I don't really like, there's not like a whole lot of shows that I'll actually watch E for. Speaking of relationships though, and kind of crazy, I have a friend and she just went on Zach's podcast. She's a good friend. She's on Vanderpump Rules. And this was a little ridiculous to me, but I want to talk about it. Sheena Marie. Okay. Sheena, now they announced on this podcast, you know, Brock caught up on his $23,000 in child support, and the rest was late fees or penalties. So they got rid of that. And Zach asked, do you guys still plan on getting married? She said, yes, I want to get married still. But you know what? I want Brock to change his last name. I don't want to change my last name.
Girl, you ain't Zoe Saldana, girl. Shut up.
This is such a Sheena thing to do, which I'm not mad at her. Everybody has their own kind of situation. Fallon and Jalen just did this. Jalen changed his last name to Pina.
What was her reasoning?
Wait. She wants him to go to Shay?
No, her mother's maiden name is Honey. So she wants
Okay, I
him
thought
to
it
go
was.
to Honey Davies instead of just Davies, which
Well, that's better than Shay. I was with Krista.
So she wants to hyphenate.
Let me just make sure I have this correct. She wants her husband to hyphenate his name. Is that what you're saying, Adam?
Yes.
Okay.
She wants her husband to hyphen.
I don't see a problem with that.
Could you imagine if she was like, I want you to change your last name to my ex-husband's last
I
name?
know.
No, just saying that.
Girl.
Sorry, I presented that the wrong way. She wants to hyphenate her mother's maiden name, which is Honey. She wants him to hyphenate his name to be Honey Davies because her daughter's name is Summer Moon Honey Davies. So
I agree with that.
You agree?
That's fine.
Yeah, because when my mom got remarried, I didn't want her to have a different last name than me. I was a kid, and I was like, no, and she hyphenated her name for us. Well, I mean, that was my mom though. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess so. They all have the same last name, right? That's what you want to say.
My mom and I, when I like messing with her, I'll call her, I'll joke around with her, and I'll be like, listen, and I'll say her first name, and then I'll say all the last names that she's had along the way, and I'm like, hold on.
Wolf Elizabeth Taylor, word.
She's like, my mom's like, I will come through this phone and grab you by the throat. Shut your mouth. So
I would have been like, and I still have all the jewelry.
But didn't you get upset when she was going to have a different last name or no? That it didn't bother you?
My mom and my dad split up when she actually, like, they were married, were together for I think 5 or 6 years. And then when she gave birth to me, in the same month that she gave birth to me is the month that they actually split up. So I never knew my parents to be together. So I always knew my dad with the same last name. And I had like a kind of a rotating door of like, I've told the story before. I would get these moms, they would come in. I would be like, listen, this is your kid's room. This is my bedtime. These are my chores. Shit's not changing around here. You're going to be around for 3 or 4 years. Let's just make this time as good as we can together.
Before Gia decided to Judaize.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think you manifested the separation or divorces or no? Maybe
no, I didn't manifest shit. I worked my ass off
sabotage,
brother.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. How about say you worked for that shit?
Yeah, I didn't manifest anything. I had to put in the work.
You put in work.
We got to the right. Like now, my mom and my dad are both with people that they have the best personalities. They call me all the time. We have great relationships. So now it's a completely different thing. But before I had Cruella DeVille, who she would legitimately torture me. Like, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but torture me. And then when my dad would come home, because my dad worked over 100 hours a week, he would sit down and he would say like, son, how's your day? And I'd be like, Dad, I have to talk to you about so-and-so. This is what she's doing. And he would ask her about it. And she would be like, oh, I know you don't believe him. It's just because he wants you to be back with his mom and he's going to do anything he can to split us up. And my dad's like, well, you have done this before. And I'm like, I get it, but this is not, she's actually crazy. The other one's like, I just didn't like crazy. This one's crazy. So,
oh.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Adam, because actually, my ex-husband, he went on to marry somebody exactly like this lady. And
I thought you were about to say like you. I'm about to say, woo.
No.
She's like, there's nobody else like me.
Shout out to Shanae and Julia Fox. We ain't talking about y'all today.
But she's doing, even to this day, the same thing that your stepmom was doing to you. She does the exact same thing to my kids. And it's very hard as the other parent to sit back and see it happening, but there's really nothing you can do, so you just have to, hopefully.
This is giving very Love and Marriage Huntsville. I can't remember who they are on Love and Marriage Huntsville, but it was the one couple who his baby mama was making it so hard for him to be able to move his kid up to up there with him so that he could be in his life full time, and she was really bitter and evil, and her and the wife had all that contention. Nobody here watches Love and Marriage Huntsville.
I mean, I do. I know exactly. You're talking about Marceau and his wife and his ex-wife.
When we finally got
rid of the show was great. Y'all watch it.
I like to call her Crazy Pants, but when we finally got rid of Crazy Pants in Tennessee, we have basements and stuff and tri-level homes. They're not our home was not 3-story because 3 stories, you need a certain amount of steps. It was just tri-level. And I remember when Dad was like, you know, the school's coming to an end. Next week, you're flying back to Florida. You're going to spend the summer with your mom, and she's not going to be here when you get back. He's like, you know, there are a couple boxes. She has boxes getting ready, you know, whatever. I had my whole class. I had at least 10 people from my class walk home from me. We put the boxes together for her while she was at work. We called her every name in the book, just like everything that she's called me along the way. And we barricaded the bottom half of the tri-level level because the master bedroom was on the bottom. And she opened her door because she would come in from the outside. And she opens her master door and she sees it's all barricaded with boxes. And me and my 10 friends are sitting up in the living room like,
you are bad.
I mean, she tortured me.
Yeah, you had to get your one in on the way out. You had to get it.
I came home one time. My laptop was at the bottom of the bathtub. All of my photos of my mom were burned in the fire pit, and she told my dad that
so she's actually Joan Crawford.
Oh, she was an actual
so you
evil
should have locked her ass in the basement.
No,
then.
She was an actual witch, actually.
She was an actual witch. She would.
Wow.
You're lucky you didn't have a bunny. Like,
Right.
My mom even too. She was the
her
only
model.
One it was crazy. My mom was the only one who believed me on how crazy she was. So she sent a voice recorder to me so I could catch her. And she said, catch her, bring it to the guidance counselor. And then she's like, you know, that's what you need to do. And then have them call me. And we got into an argument and I was like, I have you on record. And she like fought me down to the couch and took the voice recorder out. That way she got it out of my hands. So because she didn't know, but as a kid, I was stupid and loudmouth. And I was like, I got you now. And I had nowhere to go with it. So she got the recording. And then from there, oh my gosh, there was even, my mom would always say to me and my dad, we would have conversations. And I know somebody said to me, Adam, stop sharing family stories. I can't help it. This is just like it's a crazy platform to do. Like we all have stories, but
you make me feel better when you do it. Like because it's like I get it.
You do it a lot better than I ever would. So
listen, it was
we're a family. Whoever wrote that hush, we're a family. We talk about our stuff. And
you know, mom would send me from Florida to Tennessee. She would write me a note in her journal every day and then put it in an envelope and send me $5 for school for that day for a la carte. And when she would send it, I wasn't getting the letters in the mail. And I was like, I think she's stealing my letters. And my dad was like, she's not stealing your letters. Your mom is a liar. That's not happening. And like, just kind of, it was crazy to me. And finally, one time, my dad picked me up from school because he got out of work early and he picked me up and I only had to do a half day. And he's like, you know, don't tell her, she gets out after school. And as we're pulling into the driveway, there was a letter. He said, check the mail. So we checked the mail together and there was a letter from my mom. I said, Dad, we can use this moment to see when she gets home, if she checks the mail, if she's going to take it. And so that's exactly what we did. We left the letter in the mail and my dad said, hold on, son. He was fixing the air conditioner. My dad's like a super handyman. He said, I have to run up to Walmart. He's like, just stay here, whatever. She comes in and I see she checks the mail and she pulls up and I was like, hi, how are you? I was like, so I just wanted to ask you, my mom said she sent me a letter. Did she? And she's like, don't you think if your mom sent you a letter, I would have told you by now. Can you get out of my face? I just had a long day at work. And I was like, oh no.
I would have stabbed her.
I was like, okay, you can't say that. But I was like, oh no.
I stabbed my stepdaddy, so I have experience. I actually can't say that. But we're not going to talk about your step demon like that.
Listen, and I said to Dad, I was like, Dad, she took it. And he's like, how do I know that you didn't go to the mailbox when I left to Walmart? I was like, are you kidding me?
Like, really?
There's no winning. Like, there was no winning. So finally, he ended up, they got into their own kind of tumultuous relationship where Dad was finally like, you know what? I'm going to move on from this. This marriage is not working. And I'm like, finally, this is 5 years of this psychopath. And then that's when I was like, woo woo! He's gone. For you. And then 5 years later, pan over, I was getting my school books in college and I heard her and she had a little 5-year-old boy with her, which was her new stepson that she adopted because the mom disappeared. And I heard her yelling at him in the bookstore. And when I heard her voice, I was like, no.
traumatizing.
Yeah, I was like, PTSD. This woman is nuts. But
did you go and hug the little boy? I would have hugged the little boy and said, "I'm very sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Right,
was just
like-
like, listen, kid, you're gonna get out of it
I
eventually.
would have just slid him the number to like Child Protective Services or the police
Karma
station or
got her, though.
somebody.
Karma
Tell
got her
them to
because
record
both of
it
her
and
sons-
just don't tell her about it yet. Just record it.
her sons ended up in prison. She ended up living in a house, a one-bedroom house with her two sisters and her brother. None of them have any money or any careers or anything. And now she's like absolutely miserable. The only reason I know is because I got along with one person in the family who always believed me and thought she was equally as crazy. And you know, like when I heard where she's at now, I was like, karma is a bitch. And
Well,
they
shout
got
out
me.
to you, Karen.
Because seriously, like, see, people don't change. Like, she was consistently an asshole. Eventually, it catches up to you, and you're gonna end up bitter and alone, and that's what happened. Like,
And she gonna end up with a face that look like an old leather Coach bag. God bless her.
Diva 1675 said, "Up and Adam, did you call your mom about your stepmom taking your letters?" I actually stopped telling my mom everything that was happening because my mom got to the point where she was about to get on the next flight to Tennessee to take care of the situation herself. And I didn't want my mom to get in trouble. So no, I didn't. I stopped telling her.
That's a tough situation to be in as a kid, because but yeah, I had a friend who is like the most tree hugging, mellow hippie guy, and the husband of one of my best friends, and he was sharing somewhat similar story. And once he had braces, and she ended up like slapping him in the face a couple times, and he was like, you don't hit women. And his dad had never really, like you said, his dad had never really taken him seriously. And once that happened, he was able to show his dad like the inside of his mouth, and that was the end of her, as I understand it. So I really hate that folks have to go through that, and that's not your childhood should be special and wonderful, and unfortunately that's not the experience of a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. But
that's why I have cousins now who go ahead, Bougie.
My ex's wife told my daughter, she was a little 16-year-old girl, and she was visiting over there with them, and she says, "I hate you, and I always hate you because you look just like your mom." And she doesn't even look like me. That's the other thing. She looks like her dad, but she has mannerisms like me and talks like me, and stuff like that, and says like little sayings that I say, because when you grow up with somebody, you're gonna pick up how they are. And my daughter said that at the time they weren't arguing or anything. Victoria said she was just watching TV, and the lady just looked at her and said that. Then another time, I got it almost became a physical thing, because my granddaughter, who was like 2 at the time, how babies, they'll just follow you around. And so my granddaughter was following her around. And so I guess she didn't want her to go in a door. So she took the door and slammed it. And my granddaughter had a big old bruise on her forehead like this. And I called my ex-husband. I said, "I'm on my way to your house to put my foot so far." You guys know where the rest of that went. And then, she was like, it was an accident. It was an accident. And I was like, it's funny to me because I raised 4 kids. I never had any accidents like that. But so I get what you're saying, Adam. And it's very hard as the other parent to sit back and watch your children be mistreated by someone. Right. But you know what I'm saying? I really didn't have a choice. She, by the divorce, she's over there. Like we did like a week on, a week off. The rest of the kids are already in college. So, I mean, I had no choice. And sometimes she would just cry and say, "I don't want to go over there. Don't make me go over there." But then my ex-husband would drive up like, "If you violate the court," you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, how do you send your child to a situation where they're not being treated right,
And
which always makes me wonder, just out of just a random thought, that always makes me wonder, like, well, because I always think, like, what made Britney Spears like lock herself in the bathroom that night when she got the 5150, with the kids? Why wouldn't why did she lock herself in the bathroom with the kids? Are they were they saying things were going on at the father's house? Was it just the mental issues? Was it her conservatorship? Like, what all was going on? Because that just made me think about that. Just like the transference of like parents. She's had an issue with that for like a while. At first, in the beginning, she had a lot of problems with that, and it just randomly made me think about that.
Like,
Sorry.
I want to
I
say,
was thinking like Kanye. Like if Britney could get a 5150, how come Kanye? They should be able to get one for him
I
because
think they're trying to prevent doing. Like I think that they're
well,
like
I
literally.
mean,
Like I don't think they
everybody has
want to
to
do
do
that. I'm
something.
sure it's an option. Chris has probably
But
brought it up as an option by now.
he's
Chris
probably,
shouldn't
yeah, she's
have
probably
any
exploring.
say. She
But
was
I'm
Kanye's
sure that Kim
son.
is like, that's the very last thing that you know what
I
I'm saying? Like
mean,
that's the final straw.
I have to
I
say
don't know.
really quick though, it's time for every wake up in Adam. We have a whirlwind segment on this, and she comes in, she pops in, she pops out. Our whirlwind segment. Look at here we go. Hi, Ebony.
Hi, Ebony.
You're muted.
Sorry. Hi. Yes. I just want to say, Adam, I don't know how many stories you have locked up in your vault. It's almost every day we have a new one. So thank you. You should get a book going. I mean,
It's going to be from down and out to up and Adam. I already have a concept.
Honestly, there's always a new story,
Wow.
and everyone who shares their path or something that happens to them in their past, that's relatable. I'm really grateful for that because last night, again, what's Jackie Goldschneider? She shared her ED story again, and there's a lot of adults who suffer from that. And I just thought that was great that her husband has such compassion. He showed her that. But wasn't her husband a babe? That's what I really call it. Her husband.
Oh, in that picture
with the blue eyes.
He is a gorgeous man, and
yes.
I would want to keep Jackie on just to keep Evan around, so we can.
That's why we keep all of our wives. Everybody loves Frank. They love Joe Giudice. They love Evan Goldschneider. I mean, Bill Aiden is really the only one in question at this point.
Bill's kind of cute. Bill's getting cute to me.
Yeah,
Bill's
yeah,
going on.
And I like the way he dresses.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not a man. We just
he's fine. Like he dresses pretty. Like he dresses really like classy.
Can we talk about the fact that Joe Gorga was so annoyed that Louis expressed himself with emotional intelligence? Like, I just it was like just the slightest. Like I was
We
like,
don't communicate like that. You guys don't understand. We don't communicate.
we don't
like
talk like
we're
we talk like,
Italian.
yo, bro, hey man, like we use testosterone in our. I was like, get your toxic masculine ass the sit down, boy. Like just because the man has our like I actually tweeted this. I was like, I can't understand how because Louis articulated himself with emotional intelligence and something other than Guido speak. Now he's annoying. That's what makes him annoying.
wait, hold on.
Him
Hold on,
asking you to
because
share your feelings is annoying.
we're coming back
He
at
doesn't
12:15 and
understand.
we're breaking all of this down. Sarah, I see you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So one, Adam, tell me if we got to jump off for the next show. But I grew up in a small town in East Texas, moved to San Antonio for school, Houston for work, moved to New Jersey for a couple of years so I could be close to New York. And New Jersey was like moving back to a small town. And so, because everything was so, and I know we've kind of talked about this before, and Chris just pointed this out in, I think, Philly Diva. It's really interesting because you think it's so populated that everything's going to be, the stores shut down early. People knew what everybody's business was because it's worse than a small town in some ways because you're all on top of each other. So you can look across this. You don't have like half an acre to live on. And the personalities are such that a lot of them were very old school. So like Joe Gorga and stuff. And I know from dealing with other folks that they don't know how to deal with folks putting out all their emotions. I am one of those people, I just am like exploding all my emotions and they're like, oh dear God, like stuff them back in, please. I don't know how to deal with you. Even, so I totally get what Georgia's saying. Like
watch Joe Gorga cry.
It's only been like the last 2 years that we're starting to like learn to like use our words because like we're getting, there's been a lot of like.
I like how Chris is speaking on behalf of Jersey too.
Yeah. Well, you shove it under the rug, or you fight it out, and then you're okay. Or the third option is you like ice each other out, and you go to like you choose different times to be at church. You know what I mean? Like, tell me if I'm wrong, Krista, but that was like my impression was like
yeah.
you separate your lives, you fight,
or you just don't
just
deal with
pretend
it.
it didn't happen.
You deal with it behind closed doors. You don't deal with
Can
it.
I say this? And I know you guys can, y'all probably will disagree with me, but I don't really see anything wrong. It feels to me like people just want Louis to be bad. Like I haven't seen anything that has made me go, "Oh my God!" You know what I'm
just
saying?
the court.
That's why I was
though,
like,
that was a little.
Making him so
that was a little. It's. I don't think the video is really out there. If you're like really watching it. But the settling outside of court with the two exes that came forward that said that they were punished if they weren't as physically intimate as many times a day as he wanted, that was a little bit of a red flag. But again, we're going to get to that at 12:15. Guys, we are at an hour and 35 minutes in. I just want to say thank you to everybody on this panel. And thank you guys for joining the conversation. Sarah, I can't wait to meet you. Georgia, Carolina, Krista, Bad and Bougie. We're going to party it up in LA. I can't wait to meet everybody. And thank you for another amazing morning show.
Yay. Thank you. It was a really good show.
Yeah. Hey, we'll keep you around, Bad and Bougie. And as we go out, can you at least let us know? If they don't know, I'll go from the top all the way around. Krista, can you let us know where we can find you?
Sure. I'm up right here on YouTube, The Unpopular Opinion with Krista Marie. I'm always covering my name, but yeah, I'm here.
All right. Guys, make sure to go follow Krista at The Unpopular Opinion. Thank you, Krista.
See you guys.
Bye. All right. Bad and Bougie, if they don't know, will you let them know?
Reality Check TV, Bad and Bougie KM.
All right. Thank you, Bad and Bougie. We're going to get to play soon. I'll see you soon.
I know. It's going to be exciting. No, I was just saying, I wish I could have came last time, but I was working. But when I know that, the actual, this time I'm going to know the actual day. So I'll be able to work it out.
All right. I can't wait. And we're in town for a couple days, so we'll definitely get together.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
Bye, Jordan. Bye, Sarah. Bye, chat. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye. All right. And Sarah, is there anywhere where we can, do you want to on Instagram, social media, anywhere where we can keep up with you?
I'm a realtor in Houston. Instagram, Sarah Bahu Realtor. I don't have a YouTube channel. Maybe I should get one and just talk about whatever or real estate, but
yeah,
that's pretty much it. I just enjoy hanging out and I enjoy the opinions of everybody. So, but definitely check out these ladies and these other folks. I love their content and love their opinions. So
thank you, Sarah. We appreciate you. And thank you for the beautiful gift. We appreciate you.
122. That's the 100K.
I know. At first, when I looked at it, I was like 122. And then it took me 2 seconds and I was like 100K. What a celebration. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, he's going to think like I'm trying to marry him like in the past, but no.
No, I knew exactly what it was. And as soon as Jason saw it too, Jason's like, this is so freaking cool. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, she even put my initial on it. That's good because people now recognize that without me, there's no you. I was like, okay, relax, Jason. Relax.
Well, so sorry, George, I don't mean to delay I just was like, no, I was torn, but I felt like that, yes, this is your show and I totally wanted you to have the credit. So you got to go first. But I also know that you always say Jason does so much. So I wanted him to get some credit too. And I felt like y'all could have that out and most people probably wouldn't notice the date. And, it would be something you guys could use, throughout the years. Not in the next 6 weeks because you're not drinking.
Yes. Exactly. But it's so special. Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate it. It's so sweet. And thank you. Bye, Sarah. All right. It's just two left, just the two of us.
Ebony, irony,
okay,
all the things.
All right, Jordan, for those who don't know, again, will you let them know? Watch this, guys. Jordan has a whole spiel.
I hate that I have the spiel because they were all like, yeah, you can find me here, bye. Then I'm like with a full minute's worth of dialogue.
No, it's a commitment.
But since you asked,
Don't work on the
you
monologue and then not deliver it, okay?
well, I mean, I'm just saying. If you don't know, since Adam brought it up, you guys can find me over in Georgia, Carolina, my gated and racism free community where I personalize culture and entertainment and then curate a conversation that's based on self discovery and growth. I am your pop culture coordinator of all things inclusion and awareness, Jordan Renee, and I invite you to guys. And I invite you guys to come sit down, take a ride, and have a conversation with me.
Hey, thank you, Jordan. We appreciate you, and hopefully we'll see you at 12:15.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye, Jordan. You know what's so funny about Jordan, too? I just want to say this really quick, is Jordan's going to pop up in Nashville, and I'm going to be like, yes, I think I really pulled it together, this look, and Jordan's going to be like, walk in and be like, oh, shit. Not only is Jordan getting all the compliments in the live chat, okay, you know what? I'm just going to have a spotlight following around. I'm going to have an extra like camera person on top of our videographer for the event. And they're just going to be holding a light over Jordan the whole time. No, guys, thank you so much for joining us. What an incredible morning show this morning. I can't believe we made it to an hour and 40 minutes. I pinned at the top of the live chat. We are going live with Ryan Bailey. So bad it's good with Ryan, Jeff Epstein, Jolene Lunzer, and Zach Peter to not only recap last night's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, but to also give another big announcement, which we will be doing every week leading up to, well, our first city tour. So hopefully you guys smash that like button. Join us at 12:15. And if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. We'll see you so very soon. Bye, guys. Thank you to all of our super chats, super stickers. Thank you to our amazing mods. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Marae. Thank you, Dana. Everybody. Hi. Bye. Thank you to all of our callers. We appreciate you, the opinions, and thank you guys for keeping it clean in the chat. Love you guys. Bye, 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 bye.